Welcome to this video of another set of 10 CWI Part A questions. These are random questions with explanations provided that will guide you in your preparation for the CWI exam. So let's not waste any of your time and go into the video.
The heat treatment for carbon steels, in which the metal's temperature is raised to just below the lower transformation temperature and held for a prescribed time before allowing it to cool at a controlled rate, is referred to as letter A, tempering, letter B, austenitizing, letter C, stress relieving, letter D, normalizing, letter E, preheating. So this question refers to a very general term in terms of heat treatment. So let me run through all the choices. So tempering improves the hardness but in a much controlled manner than quenching, which improves ductility and reduce brittleness. Austenitizing refers to where ferrous alloys are heated to transform them into austenite. Normalizing is heat treatment in still air. So for example, if you have or you are heat treating a metal into an oven or into a furnace, then you open that oven's door or panel, then that is basically normalizing because you're allowing still air to improve the ductility but not as much as annealing. Preheating reduces cooling rate, thus improving properties and preventing the potential for cracking. So this preheating, you basically improve the amount of or reduce the cooling rate, thus improving the properties of the metal, preventing it to become brittle. So the answer in this question is, it is a more general term here, is stress relieving, letter C. So stress relieving is a general term for allowing metal to cool in a controlled rate. Next question. Electrical conductivity of a part is the primary requirement for which NDE method? Letter A ET, letter B UT, letter C PT, letter D RT, letter E VT. Electrical conductivity is a main part of eddy current testing, which is the answer here, letter A. So UD or UT or ultrasonic testing makes use of a high frequency sound waves. PT makes use of capillary action to detect cracks or pores. RT uses X-rays or gamma rays to detect internal flaws or subsurface flaws. VT just is a visual testing, which makes use of our naked eye or with an aid of an instrument to detect surface flaws. So the answer here is letter A. Decibel is a term associated with which NDE method? Letter A UT, letter B RT, letter C MT, letter D PT, letter E ET. UT makes use of sound waves, so that's why in ultrasonic testing decibels are used. So the answer here is letter A. So RT output is visualized through films. Magnetic particle testing or MT makes use of magnetic particles. PT makes use of developer liquid, and electrical conductivity is the main property used for ET, none of which these four choices makes use of decibel as a term associated with them. Thus, the answer here is UT or letter A. Developing is one of the steps in which NDE method? Letter A, UT and ET. Letter B, RT and PT. Letter C, PT and MT. Letter D, MT and ET. Or letter E, VT and PD. So if you're familiar with those NDE methods in which in the part A of the exam will most likely appear, so developing is part of radiographic testing and penetrant testing, which is letter B, because it is developing is important or part of the film production or the generation of image in the films, and the development of and the developer being applied to the penetrant testing is part of course PT, which the answer here is letter B. By the way, I just want to take a break from the video and remind you of the free Udemy course that I've put in the description down below. So it composes of CWI Part A lectures, the introduction for welding inspectors. So you can check out the description below for that free Udemy course. Now back to the video. If the weld symbol straddles the reference line, it means A. Weld both sides, B. Weld arrow side first, C. Weld other side first, D. Weld has no side significance, E. The symbol has drawn incorrectly. So the answer here is letter A. So if the weld symbol straddles the reference line, so this is the reference line here, line right here. So if the weld symbol straddles the reference line like so, then the weld symbol indicates that the weld has to be made on both sides of the joint. So the answer here is letter A. In which direction does a rolled plate of carbon steel usually exhibit its least amount of ductility? Letter A, parallel to the rolling direction. B, transverse to the rolling direction. C, in the through thickness direction. D, in the direction of welding. E, in rolling direction has no significance regarding ductility. So this occurs in the through thickness or in the z-axis of the plate, meaning the thickness of the plate, and inclusions because the alignment of grains in this thickness, so in this thickness of the plate right here, makes so that the alignment of grains and inclusions such as sulfides and silicates make it susceptible to lamellar tear. So lamellar tear occurs normally at this location, at this through thickness of the plate due to high localized stress and because it is the area of the material or the plate which exhibits the lowest amount of ductility, making it susceptible to that high localized stress there, which in this instance is the lamellar tear. So the answer here is letter C. Which of the following welding processes commonly use a constant current power source? Letter A, GMAW and FCAW. B, SMAW and GTAW. C, GTAW and GMAW. D, FCAW and SMAW. Letter E, SAW and SMAW. So SMAW and GTAW are constant current power source because a significant change in voltage in these processes can occur through a slight or very little change in the current. So since the heat input or is a function of voltage, current, and the travel speed, or since the heat input is a function of voltage, current, and arc length, the welder can control this heat input by controlling the arc length. So for example, the amount of distance that this tip of the electrode is spent on that weld puddle or that molten puddle, so he can control, the welder can control them because it is a function of that and the amount of current that is being produced through the welding machine. So for example, just a small adjustment in the arc length can also affect the amount of electricity that is being put through in this welding electrode, thus adjusting the heat input towards the molten puddle. That is why improper control of this arc length for these types of processes can severely affect the quality of weld that is being produced here. So the answer here is letter B. In order to learn the exact location of a subsurface flaw in three directions, the best NDE method would be letter A RT, letter B MT, letter C PT, letter D UT, letter E VT. UT or ultrasonic testing is the best method to detect subsurface flaw in three directions. So the answer here is letter D. This is why sometimes RT can be limited in detecting planar flaws which occur in three directions and also may be limited on detecting flaws on thicker metals, whereas UT can do the job. So for example, if you're looking for subsurface flaws on a thicker metal, RT may not be able to do the job, and UT can is the most appropriate NDA method to do just that. So the answer here is letter D. Which of the following welds is not considered applicable for a butt joint? Letter A, V groove. Letter B, plug. Letter C, edge flange. Letter D, U groove. Letter E, J groove. So one clue here is that all of the groove welds are applicable for a butt joint. So letter A, letter D, letter E is considered applicable for a butt joint. So all of the groove joints can be applicable as a butt joint, including the edge flange here because it can be considered as a butt joint as well because of its configuration. Hence, the answer here is letter B. Plug weld involves welding two pieces of metal by filling drilled holes with weld, hence a plug. So it is commonly used in instrumentation connection if you're planning to seal a weld there. When using SMAW, wet electrodes will most likely cause letter A undercut, letter B overlap, letter C underfill, letter D porosity, letter E all of the above. So the answer here is letter D. So this is why electrodes shall be properly maintained in their appropriate oven temperature. Wet electrodes can cause moisture in the weld puddle and can cause porosity. Porosity is just hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen trapped in the weldment. So if you have a weldment there and basically this electrode is wet or this has moisture, this is a wet electrode. Basically, you're putting more uh, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen trap, or basically you're putting those elements in the weld puddle, because essentially moisture is just a combination of hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. So then porosity will likely happen if you're using wet electrodes. So it is important that appropriate maintaining oven temperature is being used when, you, for example, you're at site and you're opening the or you're exposing the electrodes to the atmosphere. So it's important that you keep it on an oven. So it is important as well. I had experience when I was working in the oil and gas industry. So I also keep in mind that the contractors or the person or the personnel that is doing the job is keeping these electrodes in their appropriate storage temperatures. So it's some sort of a preventative measure to ensure that their output or their weld output or their weld production is being will be ensured that it is of utmost quality, preventing such defects or discontinuities. So the answer here is letter D.